An Australia Art Guide. Chapter 1. Australia Art. Australia Art/Culture websites. artshub.com.au, nga.gov.au, National Gallery of Australia, Canberra. Copyright.org.au, amel.org.au, Australian Museums and Galleries Online. artandaustralia.com.au, artlink.com.au, artmonthly.org.uk, aasd.com.au, Australian Arts Sales Digest. abc.net.au/arts, aboriginal-art.com, songlines. Aboriginal Art. accaonline.org.au, Australian Centre for Contemporary Art. ace.org.au, Australian College of Entertainment. anat.org.au, Australian Network for Art and Technology. art.net.au, Directory of Australian Commercial Galleries. artaustralia.com, Art and Australia Magazine. artbank.gov.au, Artbank. artcyclopedia.com/nationalities/australian.html, major Australian artists. art-gallery.com.au, Contemporary Australian Art Gallery. artmarketblog.com. artmonthly.org.au, Artmonthly. artnews.com.au, Artnews. artnewsportal.com.au, The Art News Portal. arts.abc.net.au, Australian Broadcasting Corporation's Arts. arts.vic.gov.au/index.htm, Arts Victoria Government Arts Funding Agency. artsconnect.com.au, web portal promoting Australian artists of all media. artshub.com.au, jobs for Australian arts workers. artsinfo.net.au, artsinfo.net. artwhatson.com.au, visual arts portal for Australia. AsiaPacificTriennial.com, Asia Pacific Triennial of Contemporary Art. austmuse.gov.au, Australian Museum, Sydney. australia.gov.au/about-Australian-stories/festivals-in-Australia, Australian Festival Guide. australian-art-gallery.com, Australian Art Gallery. biennaleofsydney.com.au, Biennale of Sydney Festival of Contemporary Art. ccp.org.au, Cinemedia, Australian cultural organisation, film, television and new media. culture.com.au, culture.com.au, New South Wales. cyberzydney.com.au, Cyber Sydney. dao.org.au, Dictionary of Australian Artists Online. deutscheranhackett.com, Deutscher and Hackett, Australian specialist fine art auction house with private galleries. deluxe.org.au, Deluxe. Media Arts Screen and Media Arts Organizations. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/category:Australian_Aboriginal_artists. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/category:Australian_artists. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/category:Australian_painters, en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Heidelberg_School, the Heidelberg School. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Robert_Hughes_%28 critic%29, Hughes. Experimenta.org, Experimenta, creativity and technology meet new media arts, film, video, sound. Fiberculture.org, Fiberculture new media arts. Humanities.org.au, Australian Academy of the Humanities. jamfactory.com.au, Jam Factory organisation for the design, production, exhibition and sale of work craft designer makers. naa.gov.au, National Archives of Australia. nla.gov.au/libraries, libraries in Australia. nla.gov.au/ndp/index.html, newspapers. Australian newspapers. Object.com.au, Object. Australian Centre for Craft and Design. OceanicaArtSociety.org.au, Oceanic Art Society. oz-artfocus.com, Ounce Art Focus. paxa.asn.au, Performing Arts Collection, South Australia. portjacksonpress.com.au, Port Jackson Press. Contemporary. printsandprintmaking.gov.au, Prints and Printmaking. Rhizome.org, New Media Resources. Rhizome.org, New Media Resources. slv.vic.gov.au, The State Library of Victoria, Melbourne. spark-online.com, Spark Online, a new understanding of self. theage.com.au, The Age, Melbourne's daily newspaper. theheartlife.com.au, The Art Life. visualarts.net.au, NAVA. National Association for the Visual Arts. visualarts.net.au, visualarts.net.au, Australian Visual Arts and Craft. web.arts.com.au/aart.html, Australian artists on the web. womensartregister.org, Australian Women's Art Register. womensartregister.org, Women's Art from Australia. Find Australia art websites at cali.org/en/regional/Oceania/Australia/arts_and_entertainment. Subcategories. Australian Capital Territory. New South Wales. Northern Territory. Queensland. South Australia. Tasmania. Victoria. Western Australia. Agents and agencies. Architecture. Artists and galleries. Audio and video production. Body art studios. Crafts. Dance. Design. Libraries. Literature. Movies. Museums. Music. Performing arts. Photograph. Publications. Radio. Restaurants and bars. Television. Theatre. Australia Art School websites. arteducation.com.au, Art Education Australia. aica.edu.au, AICA Education. opencolleges.edu.au, Open Colleges, Australia. education.qld.gov.au, Queensland Educational Resources for Teachers and Students. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/category:art_schools_in_Australia. rmit.edu.au/art, RMIT University School of Art. soa.anu.edu.au, School of Art, Australian National University. acsa.sa.edu.au/home, Adelaide Central School of Art. grenadi.edu.au, Grenadi School of Design, Melbourne. nas.edu.au, National Art School, Darlinghurst, Sydney. rmit.edu.au/study-with-us/art-design-and-architecture, RMIT University, Melbourne. soa.anu.edu.au, School of Art and Australian National University. sydney.edu.au/SCA, Sydney College of the Arts. sfca.unimelb.edu.au. cofa.unsw.edu.au/units/arth. uq.edu.au/art history. griffith.edu.au/visual-creative-arts/Queensland-College-Art, Queensland College of Art. artdesign.unsw.edu.au, UNSW Art and Design. vu.edu.au/about-us/academic-colleges/arts, Victoria University Arts, Melbourne. vca.unimelb.edu.au, Victorian College of the Arts. utas.edu.au/courses/study-areas/creative-and-performing-arts, University of Tasmania. whitehouse-design.edu.au, White House Institute of Design. Australia artist websites. Dion Archibald. Contemporary Australian painter. DionArchibald.com. Bill Nelson illustrator. Figurative sculptor. BillNelsonStudios.com. Leith O'Malley South Australian painter and illustrator. LeithO'Malley.com. Brett Whiteley Museum. Sydney, Australia. Includes brettwhiteley.org. A list of Australia art websites at blog.feedspot.com/Australia_art_blogs. accessarts.org.au/news-and-events. artguide.com.au. artistprofile.com.au. arts.qld.gov.au/aq-blog. artsproject.org.au. australiangalleries.com.au. australiangraffiti.blogspot.com. blog.qagoma.qld.gov.au. bluethumb.com.au/blog. cookshillgalleries.com.au/blogs/news. frankie.com.au/art. ileanacontemporary.com. ipadartroom.com. icecreamnails.tumblr.com. jennieolland.com. kadirajenningsart.com/blog. melbourneartcritic.wordpress.com. nilebez.com/mini-nail-blog. nomadart.com.au. olsengallery.com/blog. saunailicious.com. streetsofmelbourne.blogspot.com. thartanthecurious.com.au. theheartlife.com.au. theartofweaving.com.au. thespacegallery.com.au/blogs/news. zestevents.com.au. Australia art museums, galleries, etc. amel.org.au, AMEL, Australian Museums and Galleries Online, news, exhibition announcements, conference calls, and other information on galleries and museums. artgallery.nsw.gov.au, Art Gallery of New South Wales. aumoel.ucd.edu.au, AUMOL, Australian University Museums Online. ozrts.anu.edu.au/ita/ozrts/index.html, web server for Australian visual arts and music at the Institute of the Arts. nga.gov.au/home/index.cfm, National Gallery of Australia, Canberra. Chapter 2. Australia Art 2. Australia Pottery Art Websites. ospottery.com, Australian decorative pottery from the 1930s. potteryinaustralia.com, the Journal of Australian Ceramics. pottersonline.com.au, Potters Online. ceramicartswa.asn.au, pottery and ceramics news from Western Australia. potteryexpo.com, Pottery Expo. philelsunpottery.com. Australia Sculpture websites. davidbookersculptor.htmlplanet.com, David Booker. fundurastudios.com.au, Fundura Studios Fine Art Foundry. soniamoran.com.au, Sonia Moran. sculptor.org/countries/australia.htm, sculptor.org. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/category:australian_sculptors, sculptors in Australia. sculptorssociety.com, the Sculptors Society, based in Sydney. sculpturebythesea.com, Sculpture by the Sea. artnut.com/australia.html, sculpture parks and gardens in Australia. Aboriginal art websites. aboriginalart.com.au, Aboriginal Art and Culture Centre, Alice Springs. time.com/time/pacific/magazine/article/0.13673,503060522-1194094 00.html Aboriginal artists in Paris. aboriginal-art-online.com, Aboriginal Art Online. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Australian_Aboriginal_art, Aboriginal Art. aboriginalaustralia.com, Aboriginal Australia. aaia.com.au, Aboriginal Fine Arts Gallery. dnathan.com/vl, Aboriginal Languages of Australia. aiam100.com, AMO Australian Indigenous Art Market. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/indigenous_Australian_art. boomerangart.com.au, Boomerang Art Gallery artists from Central Australia. artgallery.nsw.gov.au, Art Gallery of New South Wales, Sydney. raftartspace.com.au/pattybedford.html, Patty Bedford. martialart.com.au. aboriginalartnews.com.au. artnet.com/artist/425934374/sally-gabarai.html, Sally Gabarai. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/rover_Thomas, Thomas, Rover. artlink.com.au/articles/1390/rover-Thomas, Rover Thomas. rickyswallow.com, Swallow, Ricky. Ricky Swallow. Australia Art Magazines. artcollector.net.au, Australian Art Collector. eyleen.qut.edu.au, Eyeline Australian Arts Journal based in Brisbane. runway.org.au, Runway Experimental Art Journal. Find Australia Art Museums and Art Galleries. nga.gov.au. National Gallery of Australia, Canberra. amel.org.au, AMEL, Australian Museums and Galleries Online. aumol.ucd.edu.au, AUMOL, Australian University Museums Online. artgallery.nsw.gov.au, Art Gallery of New South Wales. ozrts.anu.edu.au/ita/ozrts/index.html, AUS Arts, web server for Australian visual arts and music at the Institute of the Arts. artnews.com.au, Galleries, Australian, web directory from Art News. artguide.com.au, Art Guide Australia Guide to art galleries and exhibitions in Australia. art.net.au. artsinfo.net.au, artsinfo.net. artcollector.net.au, Australian Art Collector. museumsaustralia.org.au, Museums Australia. alldownunder.com/australian-entertainment/museums.htm. awag.org.au, the Association of Western Australian Art Galleries. AWAG. Australia Art Museums and Art Galleries. nga.gov.au, National Gallery, Canberra. portrait.gov.au, National Portrait Gallery, Canberra. ngv.vic.gov.au, National Gallery of Victoria, Melbourne. mca.com.au, Museum of Contemporary Art, Sydney. qag.qld.gov.au, Queensland Art Gallery. bnalovesydney.com.au. agnsw.com, Art Gallery of New South Wales. artgallery.nsw.gov.au, Art Gallery of New South Wales, Sydney. artgallery.sa.gov.au, Art Gallery of South Australia, Adelaide. acmi.net.au, Australian Centre for the Moving Image, Melbourne. Museum Victoria.com.au, Melbourne Museum. artgallery.wa.gov.au, Art Gallery of Western Australia. artnow.org.au, Australian Centre for Contemporary Art, South Brisbane. mca.com.au, Museum of Contemporary Art, Sydney. mca.com.au, the Museum of Contemporary Art, Sydney. melbourne.museum.vic.gov.au, Melbourne Museum. mona.net.au, Museum of Old and New Art, Melbourne. museum.vic.gov.au, Museum Victoria. museum.wa.gov.au, the Western Australian Museum. nga.gov.au, National Gallery of Australia, Canberra. nga.gov.au, National Gallery of Australia. Parks, actngv.vic.gov.au, National Gallery of Victoria, Melbourne. Portrait.gov.au, National Portrait Gallery, Parks, actqagoma.qld.gov.au, Queensland Art Gallery, Brisbane. sohogalleries.net, Soho Art Gallery, Sydney. ngv.vic.gov.au, National Gallery of Victoria. ngv.vic.gov.au, National Gallery of Victoria, Melbourne. nma.gov.au, National Museum of Australia. nma.gov.au, National Museum of Australia. pica.org.au, Perth Institute of Contemporary Arts. portrait.gov.au, National Portrait Gallery. portrait.gov.au, National Portrait Gallery of Australia, Canberra. powerhousemuseum.com, Powerhouse Museum, Sydney. qag.qld.gov.au, Queensland Art Gallery, Sydney. qag.qld.gov.au, Queensland Art Gallery. qag.qld.gov.au, Queensland Gallery of Modern Art, Goma. qm.qld.gov.au, Queensland Museum. roslynOXLEY9.com.au, Roslyn OXLEY9 Gallery, Sydney. Contemporary. wentworthgalleries.com.au, Wentworth Galleries. Chapter 3. Local Australia Art Museums and Galleries. Adelaide Art Websites. acsa.sa.edu.au, Adelaide Central School of Art, Gallery and Studios. artgallery.sa.gov.au, the Art Gallery of South Australia. google.com/cultural-institute/art-gallery-of-south-australia. thearchibaldprize.com.au, Archibald Prize. Brisbane Art Websites. bcpia.com.au, Brisbane College of Photography and Art. brisart.org, Brisbane Institute of Art. ima.org.au, Institute of Modern Art. brisart.org, Brisbane Institute of Art. movingcanvas.com.au, Moving Canvas Art Gallery. qm.qld.gov.au, Queensland Museum. Canberra Art Websites. senart.net, Art and Artists in Canberra. Senart. ccas.com.au, Canberra Contemporary Art Space. centreforthemind.com, Centre for the Mind. Perth Art Websites. artplace.com.au, Artplace. awag.org.au, the Association of Western Australian Art Galleries. awag. central.wa.edu.au, Central TAFE Art Gallery. fac.org.au, Fremantle Art Centre. greenhillgalleries.com, Greenhill Galleries. Contemporary and Modern Australian Art. listwa.wa.gov.au, State Library of Western Australia. museum.wa.gov.au, the Western Australian Museum. Sydney Art Websites. artguide.com.au, Artguide Australia. smh.com.au/entertainment, the Sydney Morning Herald Arts Guide. artshub.com.au, the Arts Hub, a guide to Australian events, festivals and exhibitions. sydney.com/events, Sydney Events. sydneyfestival.org.au, the Sydney Festival. sff.org.au, Sydney International Film Festival. Sydney Art Museum Gallery websites. sydney.com/things-to-do/arts-and-culture/museums, and art galleries in Sydney, a guide. mca.com.au, Museum of Contemporary Art Australia. artgallery.nsw.gov.au, Art Gallery of New South Wales. art-almanac.com.au/what's-on/Sydney, Art Almanac Guide to Galleries and Exhibitions in Sydney. cyberzedney.com.au, Cyber Sydney. sydney.com/things-to-do/arts-and-culture/museums, and art galleries in Sydney, a guide from sydney.com. artgallery.nsw.gov.au, Art Gallery of New South Wales, Sydney. austmuse.gov.au, the Australian Museum. bos18.com, Biennale of Sydney. sydneycontemporary.com.au, Sydney Contemporary. Australia's Modern and Contemporary Art Fair. albionstreetgallery.com, Albion Street Gallery. ansnellgallery.com.au, Anne Snell Gallery. annaschwartzgallery.com, Anna Schwartz Gallery. harringtonstreetgallery.com, Harrington Street Gallery. harrisongalleries.com.au, Harrison Galleries. rayhughesgallery.com, Ray Hughes Gallery. liquidarchitecture.org.au, Liquid Architecture. aboriginalpacificart.com.au, Aboriginal and Pacific Art 2, Danks Street, Waterloo. sl.nsw.gov.au/events, Amaze the Michael Crouch Gallery. Mitchell Wing, State Library of NSW. annaschwartzgallery.com, Anna Schwartz Gallery, Sydney 245, Wilson Street, Darlington. annandalegalleries.com.au, Annandale Galleries 110, Trafalgar Street, Annandale. AnnetteLarkin.com, Annette Larkin Fine Art 2, Danks Street, Waterloo. artatrium.com.au, Art Atrium. 181, Old South Head Road, Bondi Junction, 2022. artaist.com.au, Art EST. Gallery and Art School, 67-69 Lords Road, Leichhardt, 2040. artgallery.nsw.gov.au, Art Gallery of New South Wales, ANSW, Art Gallery Road, Sydney 2000. artmoment.com.au, Art Moment Gallery, Shop 1, 99, Curl Ewis Street, Bondi Beach, 2026. artarmangalleries.com.au, Arta RMON Galleries, 479, Pacific Highway, Arta RMON 2064. artareal.com.au, Artareal Australian and International Contemporary Art, 747, Darling Street, Roselle, 2039. articulaate497.blogspot.com, Articulate Project Space, 497, Parramatta Road, opposite Cass Brothers, Leichhardt, 2040. artsite.com.au, Artsite Gallery 165, Salisbury Road, Camperdown, 2050. artspace.org.au, Artspace Visual Arts Centre, 43-51 Cooper Wharf Road, Woolloomooloo, 2011. attvanishingpoint.com.au, At the Vanishing Point. acp.org.au, Australian Centre for Photography, ACP. australiangalleries.com.au, Australian Galleries 15, Royalston Street, Paddington. barometer.net.au, Barometer. blender.com.au, Blender Gallery. waverley.nsw.gov.au, Bondi Pavilion Gallery, Queen Elizabeth Drive, Bondi Beach, 2026. breathingcolours.com, Breathing Colours Gallery, 446, Darling Street, Balmain, 2041. breenspace.com, Breenspace Level 3, 17-19 Alberta Street, Sydney. brendamygallery.com.au, Brenda May Gallery. brettwhiteley.org, Brett Whiteley Studio. butchershook.net.au, Butchers Hook Art Gallery. ucd.edu.au/sca, Callan Park Gallery, Sydney College of the Arts. campbelltownartscentre.com.au, Campbelltown Arts Centre. 1 Art Gallery Road, Campbelltown 2560. KasulaPowerhouse.com, Kasula Powerhouse Arts Centre, Liverpool City Council. CharlesHewitt.com.au, Charles Hewitt Gallery. TheCommercialGallery.com, The Commercial. ConnieDietzSchold.gallery.com, Connie Dietz Schold Gallery. KuiArt.com.au, Kui Aboriginal Art Gallery 31, Lamrock Avenue, Bondi Beach 2026. CrossArt.com.au, The Cross Art Projects 8, Lankley Lane, off Orwell Street, King's Cross 2011. DamienMintonGallery.com.au, Damien Minton Gallery 583, Elizabeth Street, Redfern 2016. DarrenKnightGallery.com, Darren Knight Gallery 840, Elizabeth Street, Waterloo 2017. Sydney.edu.au/SCA, DEDSP_CE Gallery, Sydney College of the Arts, the University of Sydney. DefianceGallery.com, Defiance Gallery I Newtown. Trinity.nsw.edu.au, Delmar Gallery 144, Victoria Street, Ashfield 2131. DominicMerschGallery.com, Dominic Mersch Gallery. EvaBrewerArtDealer.com.au, Eva Brewer Art Dealer 83, Moncur Street, Woollera 2025. FACTORY49.blogspot.com, Factory 4949, Shepherd Street, Marrickville 2204. FMalosGallery.com.au, Felia Malos Gallery. FirstDraftGallery.com, First Draft. Fora.com.au, Foray Center for Contemporary Asian Art. FrancisKeevil.gallery.com.au, Francis Keevil Gallery. Gaffa.com.au, Gaffa Gallery 281, Clarence Street, Sydney 2000. GalleryPompom.com, Gallery Pompom. GALLERY9.com.au, Gallery 99, Darley Street, Darlinghurst 2010. GalleryRed.com.au, Gallery Red. Gallery8.com.au, Gallery 8. Gallipoli.com.au, the Gallipoli Memorial Club. Ginkgogglery.com.au, Ginkgo. Glassartistsgallery.com.au, Glass Artists Gallery, GAG, 68, Glebe Point Road, Glebe 2037. Handoflaw.com.au, Hand of Law. HarringtonStreetGallery.com, Harrington Street Gallery. Hawkesbury.nsw.gov.au, Hawkesbury Regional Gallery, Deerabin Centre, 1st floor, 300 George Street, Windsor 2756. Hazelhurst.com.au, Hazelhurst Regional Gallery and Arts Centre. TheHughesGallery.com, The Hughes Gallery. HuntersHillLarts.com, Hunters Hill Town Hall. Clayworkers.com.au, Inner City Clayworkers Gallery. JamesDiorahi.com.au, James Dorahi Project Space Suite 4, 1st floor, 111 Maclay Street, Potts Point. JanetClaytonGallery.com.au, Janet Clayton Gallery. JensonGallery.com, Jensen Gallery 3-5 Caledonia Street, Paddington 2021. KateOwenGallery.com, Kate Owen Gallery. Kendani.com.au, the Ken Dunn Gallery. CarrieLowe.com, Carrie Lowe Gallery 49-51 King Street, Newtown 2042. KingStreetGallery.com.au, King Street Gallery on William 177, William Street, Darlinghurst 2010. LiverpoolsTGallery.com.au, Liverpool Street Gallery. ArtGallery.mq.edu.au, Macquarie University Art Gallery. Manly.nsw.gov.au/attractions/art-gallery-museum, Manly Art Gallery and Museum. MartinBrownContemporary.com, Martin Brown Contemporary 15, Hampton Street, Paddington 2021. MaryPlaceGallery.com.au, Mary Place Gallery 12, Mary Place, Paddington 2021. Monselwix.com, Monselwix 19, Glenmore Road, Paddington 2021. maystreetstudios.com.au, May Street Gallery 23, May Street St. Peter's 2044. mclemoy.com, McLemoy Gallery. asma-nsw.com, Members Lounge, The Mint 10, Macquarie Street, Sydney 2000. michaelreed.com.au, Michael Reed at Elizabeth Bay. micthegallery.com, Mick 44, Gurner Street, Paddington 2021. mop.org.au, MOP Projects 239th Abercrombie Street, Chippendale 2008. mossmanartgallery.org.au, Mossman Art Gallery, CNR Art Gallery Way and Niagara Road, Mossman 2088. multiplebox.com.au, Multiplebox Sydney 99, Crown Street, Darlinghurst 2010. mca.com.au, Museum of Contemporary Art, MCA. nas.edu.au, National Art School Gallery, Forbes Street, Darlinghurst. visualarts.net.au, National Association for the Visual Arts, Nava, 02, 9368-1900. ngart.com.au, NG Art Gallery. nusinovgallery.com.au, Nusinov Gallery 56, Cope Street, Redfern. olsenerwin.com, Olsen Irwin Gallery 63, Jersey Road, Woollera. outregallery.com, Outre Gallery. paramatastudios.com.au, Parramatta Artists Studios Level 1 and 2, 68, Macquarie Street, Parramatta. auburn.nsw.gov.au, Peacock Gallery and Auburn Arts Studio, Auburn Botanic Gardens, CNR Chisholm and Chiswick Streets, Auburn. penrithregionalgallery.org, Penrith Regional Gallery and the Lures Bequest. purplenoongallery.com.au, Purple Noon Art Gallery 606, Terrace Road, Freeman's Reach 2756. lotsofm.com, Queen Saint Gallery 28, Queen Street, Woollera. rbgsid.nsw.gov.au, Red Box Gallery, The Royal Botanic Garden, MRS Macquarie's Road. rex-livingston.com, Rex Livingston Art Dealer and Projects 59, Flinders Street, Surrey Hills. richardmartinart.com.au, Richard Martin Art. robingibson.net, Robin Gibson Gallery 278, Liverpool Street, Darlinghurst. roslynOXLEY9.com.au, Roslyn OXLEY9 Gallery 8, Sudan Lane, Paddington. shofingalery.com.au, sh. Irvine Gallery, National Trust of Australia, NSW, Watson Road, Observatory Hill, The Rocks. sabiagallery.com, Sabia Gallery 120, Glenmore Road, Paddington 2021. sarahcottiergallery.com, Sarah Cottier Gallery. saville.com.au, Saville Galleries 156, Hargrave Street, opposite the Bellevue Pub, Paddington. sydney.edu.au/sca, Galleries, Sydney College of the Arts. Balmair Road, Roselle 2039. scenicworld.com.au/sculpture, sculpture at Scenic World. sheffergallery.com, Sheffer Gallery 38, Lander Street, Darlington. shepherdsTgallery.com, Shepherd Street Gallery 107A, Shepherd Street, Chippendale 2008. sherman-scaf.org.au, Sherman Contemporary Art Foundation, SCAF, 16-20 Good Hope Street, Paddington. sno.org.au, Snow Contemporary Art Projects. sohogalleries.net, Soho Galleries, CNR Crown and Cathedral Streets, Sydney. stanleystreetgallery.com.au, Stanley Street Gallery 1/52-54 Stanley Street, Darlinghurst. sl.nsw.gov.au/events, State Library of NSW, Macquarie Street, Sydney. stillsgallery.com.au, Stills Gallery. studio2017.com.au, Studio 2017's Contemporary Jewellery. sullivanstirumph.com, Sullivan and Strumpf. tapgallery.org.au, Tap Gallery Level 1, 278 Palmer Street, Darlinghurst. tayligallery.com.au, Tayli Gallery. 10x8gallery.com, 10x8 Level 5, 56-60 Foster Street, Surrey Hills 2010. utopiaartsydney.com.au, Utopia Art Sydney 2, Danks Street, Waterloo 2017. art.uts.edu.au, UTS Gallery. virtualtours.uws.edu.au/home, UWS Art Gallery, Warrington North Campus AD Building, Warrington. verge-gallery.net, Verge Gallery, Jane Foss Russell Plaza, City Road, University of Sydney. wagnerartgallery.com.au, Wagner Gallery 39, Gurner Street, Paddington. watersgallery.com, Waters Gallery. whiterabbitcollection.org, White Rabbit Gallery 30, Balfour Street, Chippendale. ewellcrowley.com, Ewell/Crowley Suite 1.01 Eastern Exchange, 318 Liverpool Street, Darlinghurst. liverpoolsTgallery.com.au, Liverpool Street Gallery. multiplebox.com.au, Multiplebox Sydney. nas.edu.au, National Art School Gallery. mca.com.au, Museum of Contemporary Art. powerhousemuseum.com, Powerhouse Museum. sohogalleries.net, Soho Art Gallery. cyberzydney.com.au, Cyber Sydney. sohogalleries.net, Soho Galleries. cityofsydney.nsw.gov.au, Sydney. The City of Sydney official site. whiterabbitcollection.org, White Rabbit Gallery. wentworthgalleries.com.au, Wentworth Galleries. Tasmanian art websites. tendaeasontheisland.org, Events in Tasmania. flinders.edu.au/art museum, Flinders University Art Museum. mona.net.au, Museum of Old and New Art. tmag.tas.gov.au, Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery. salats.org.au, Salamanca Arts Centre. about-australia.guide/travel-guides/Tasmania/Hobart/attractions/ART. Hobart Art Attractions. theatreroyal.com.au, Theatre Royal. Western Australia Art Websites. artgallery.wa.gov.au, Art Gallery of Western Australia. Website. bragg.org.au, Bunbury Regional Art Galleries. Australian Capital Territory. Canberra. ccas.com.au, Canberra Contemporary Art Space. Australian Capital Territory, Canberra. nga.gov.au, National Gallery of Australia. nma.gov.au, National Museum of Australia. portrait.gov.au, National Portrait Gallery. New South Wales. Falcon Bridge. normanlindsay.com.au, Norman Lindsay Gallery and Museum. Lismore. ellismoregallery.org, Lismore Regional Art Gallery. Orange. org.nsw.gov.au, Orange Regional Gallery. Sydney. artgallery.nsw.gov.au, Art Gallery of New South Wales. acp.org.au, Australian Centre for Photography. mca.com.au, Museum of Contemporary Art. powerhousemuseum.com, Powerhouse Museum of Science and Design. Northern Territory. Darwin. nt.gov.au/nreta/museum/index.html, Museum and Art Gallery of the Northern Territory. Queensland. Brisbane. ima.org.au, Institute of Modern Art, IMA. Queensland, Brisbane. qag.qld.gov.au, Queensland Art Gallery. Cairns. cairnsregionalgallery.com.au, Cairns Regional Gallery. Logan. logan.qld.gov.au/lcc/logan/art gallery, art gallery. Mackay. artspacemackay.com.au, artspace Mackay. Nathan. griffith.edu.au/visual-creative-arts/griffith-artworks, Griffith University Artworks. South Australia. Adelaide. artgallery.sa.gov.au, Art Gallery of South Australia. South Australia, Adelaide. flinders.edu.au/artmuseum, Flinders University Art Museum. unisa.edu.au/samstag museum, Samstag Museum of Art at the University of South Australia. Tasmania. Hobart. statelibrary.tas.gov.au/aboutus/findus/allport, Allport Library and Museum of Fine Arts. Tasmania, Hobart. tmag.tas.gov.au, Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery. Launceston. qvmag.tas.gov.au, Queen Victoria Museum and Art Gallery. Victoria. Ballarat. bealgal.com, Ballarat Fine Art Gallery. Benalla. benallaartgallery.com, Benalla Art Gallery. Bendigo. bendigoartgallery.com.au, Bendigo Art Gallery. Castlemaine. archive.amel.org.au/art_trails/Castlemaine, Castlemaine Art Gallery and Historical Museum. Clayton. monash.edu.au/muma, Monash University Gallery. Fitzroy. ccp.org.au, Centre for Contemporary Photography. Hamilton. hamiltongallery.org, Art Gallery of Hamilton. Heidi. heidi.com.au, Heidi Museum of Modern Art. Horsham. horshamartgallery.com.au, Horsham Regional Art Gallery. Melbourne. accionline.org.au, Australian Centre for Contemporary Art. museumvictoria.com.au, Museum Victoria. ngv.vic.gov.au, National Gallery of Victoria. art-museum.uniml.edu.au, the Ian Potter Museum of Art at the University of Melbourne. Mildura. milduraarts.net.au, Mildura Arts Centre. Shepparton. greatershepparton.com.au/residents/arts/Shep Art Gallery, Shepparton Art Gallery. Western Australia. Bunbury. bragg.org.au, Bunbury Regional Art Galleries. Meckering. thebigcamera.com.au, the Big Camera Museum of Photography. Perth. artgallery.wa.gov.au, Art Gallery of Western Australia. museum.wa.gov.au, Western Australian Museum.